Good evening, Greater MSP. As we just heard, stories are powerful. They influence how we see the world, they shape how we see ourselves, and what we believe about what's possible and necessary. People have stories, and places have stories. Our shared task, all of us, is to write the next chapter of the story of our place. And you will see tonight that we are doing that by taking action together in this diverse and growing partnership. You are this partnership. Fortune 500 companies and startups and venture capital, universities and community colleges, foundations and nonprofits, cities and counties and tribal governments in the state of Minnesota. You are active partners and financial investors, the leaders doing the work, making it all possible. Over 1,000 unlikely allies. Allies because, as different as we all are, we share a belief that the future of this place can and will be better than our past when we think and act boldly together. Now, there are a few places in 2025 where all of us can come together and roll up our sleeves and actually solve complex challenges. But Greater MSP is that place. In a time when it can feel as though our society is more divided than ever, Greater MSP is how we're thinking in new ways to forge a future worthy of our children. So tonight, you will hear some of our shared successes, tackling some very hard problems, like decarbonizing air travel and reinventing medical technology. And you'll hear about some of the new adventures that we're going to tackle next. And in the next hour or so, if you find yourself thinking, this sounds a bit different, you're tracking the plot. Because what we're doing in this partnership is not more of the same. We are building something new and better on the foundation of what we have today. Yes, there's a lot of analysis and execution, but also imagination and experimentation. This is creative work. In Greater MSP, we have the freedom and the power to do and try new things, and we are. We have a lot of choices as we write our story. But we don't always get to pick the setting. And this stage is a good illustration of what I mean. You know where I'm going. Every year in the fall, there's a planning meeting for this event, where the Guthrie reveals what the stage is going to look like in February. It could be anything, and we have no control over it. Last year, you may recall, it was a murder mystery. And so every speaker had to walk through a series of pretty creepy rooms before they got out to the stage, but we made it work. This year, it's A Midsummer Night's Dream, a fantastic show, not really the vibe we're going for. But it isn't our choice. Our choice is what to do with the setting we're given. So each year, no matter what the stage is, we kind of manage through that first moment, our initial reaction, and then we get to work trying to make it work. Now, in this partnership, our work is to build an even better region by accelerating economic growth and economic mobility. We do that in the changing context of our country and our world. And that context right now is pretty interesting, to use a Minnesota phrase. Part of the staging we're dealing with is the global economy, including rapid changes in technology. Now, what we want to do is we want to create good jobs for everyone in this region. But there is an AI revolution gaining steam that is expected to disrupt 1/3 of all jobs in this region by the end of the decade. We cannot make AI go away, so we need to adapt by significantly increasing our region's focus on creating thousands of new automation-resistant jobs in emerging industries. More on that in a second. Also beyond our control, politics and geopolitics. Unpredictable in ways unprecedented. The political winds are shifting fast, creating new and very real uncertainty. In this moment, our task is to stay focused and find ways to keep moving. Today's headlines do not change our long-term strategy. That strategy is based on deep analysis of where the national and global economy are going for the next 20 and 30 years. It's guided by our durable values, and it's focused on creating good jobs in Minnesota by exporting breakthrough solutions to problems in agriculture, clean energy, deep technology, and healthcare. These are generational challenges that will not be done or undone in the next 4 years or 6 or even 10. So, for example, while the conversation around climate change is shifting, we still know that leading the development of clean technologies like sustainable aviation fuel, biomanufacturing, and industrial decarbonization can add $20 billion and 100,000 good jobs to Minnesota's economy, while also strengthening America's security. The world needs these solutions. Minnesota is positioned to create them, so it's not if, but how. The conversation is also changing around inclusion. Yet, we still know that by fully including everyone in our region's economy, regardless of race or geography, we'll add $5 billion to household incomes in our region. We'll grow faster. We'll compete better. Our region needs entrepreneurs and homebuyers and talent from our communities of color. So it's not if, it's how. In this partnership, the direction that's always mattered most isn't right or left, it's forward. So we are going to keep going because even in the face of this uncertainty, Greater MSP is making progress and we don't stop at green lights. Strategy is important and leadership will matter in this moment too. Now you know, and I know, that having a mailing address in New York or Washington, D.C. does not make you a national leader. Having the courage to take on challenges that matter to America and the capacity to deliver solutions makes you a leader. So tonight, you're going to hear how we Minnesotans are leading through collaboration, innovation, and bold ambition. This year, while some places slow down or hesitate or wait for a more certain time that may never come, we are going to think bigger. Bigger because we need to create one of America's most vibrant economies in order to have the quality of life we heard those leaders on the video describe. And that's why we're working hard and fast to build our next economy, which can be cleaner, more global, more inclusive, and connect the metro and greater Minnesota in new and exciting ways. Our next economy won't just be a bright spot in the American Midwest. It will be a North American hub in the global economy. It will still be a headquarters economy, a 21st century one, with thriving legacy companies joined by the headquarters of new companies in new fast-growing industries. Our next economy will also be a hub for research and development, with more university research, graduate students, scientists, corporate R&D facilities, and new global problem-solving partnerships in Europe and Asia and beyond. Innovation is how we're going to create the solutions to the problems the world needs, and those solutions will accelerate our growth and create real opportunity for the people who live here. Our next economy won't just generate ideas and discoveries, it's going to produce the solutions with smart and clean manufacturing. Did you know that this region has the 7th highest concentration of manufacturing of any US region, with over 200,000 people working in manufacturing here today? We're going to build on that strength so that the new technologies emerging from those R&D centers move across the street into clean factories that employ thousands of Minnesotans in good-paying jobs with benefits that don't require a 4-year degree. Despite the setting, this is not a dream. This is the first draft of our future. The work is already in motion across the region and state. You're going to hear about it tonight and in the months ahead. Now, we have big work to do in order to make this real. We need to build faster-moving approaches to recruit and train talent, create new capital funds to turn ideas into companies, become a more cost-competitive state, harness the power of AI for good, and importantly, we need to reforge the bonds between public sector and private sector leaders in our region and state, because without that, none of this is possible. So we aren't yet where we want to be as a region, but we aren't where we once were. When we're done tonight, you will see that we are no longer at the beginning of our next chapter, when everything's big ideas and hopeful possibilities. And we aren't at the end where it's all resolved and tidy, We are entering the middle of the story, when things get truly interesting. When challenges emerge, characters are tested, and the outcome can feel uncertain. But it's in the middle where heroes are made, when in the moments that matter most, a special group of people simply refuse to quit. We are those people. We're never going to quit. So thanks to each of you for being a part of this journey. Together we are transforming our region, and we're writing a story we're going to tell the world. Have a good night.